My wife walked out last night in a silver dress tight enough to cut off circulation and said, loud enough for the neighbors to hear, "I'm going to a party because I'm tired of how useless you are. Maybe someone out there can handle what you never managed to. Before we continue this chaotic cheating drama, take a second to subscribe, like, comment, and hit the hype button. It really helps this channel grow." She slammed the door. I didn't shout, didn't cry, didn't beg. I just left. No note, no explanation, no messages. Ghosted her completely. And this morning, when I came back for my work badge, she was on the porch, knees shaking, mascara melted into 2 rivers. "Tate, please don't do this. I'm sorry. I was intoxicated. I didn't mean it. Tate, talk to me." That's when something inside me finally clicked. Not broke, clicked. That was the moment the old version of me passed. And the new one, the one who doesn't forgive betrayal, started breathing. The regulatory documentation facility where I worked smelled like bleached paper and desperation. 35 years old, pushing forms through approval channels, making sure pharmaceutical companies didn't accidentally poison anyone. Exciting stuff. Elara reminded me of that regularly. "You're a glorified secretary," she said once, filing her nails on our couch. "My friend's husbands own things. You just organize." She wasn't wrong. I organized. I documented. I made sure things happened in the right sequence. Turns out those skills transfer nicely when you're planning something that requires precision. That morning after the party, I stood in our driveway watching her sob. The silver dress looked cheaper in daylight, wrinkled across her thighs like crumpled aluminum foil. Her lash extensions were crooked, one hanging lower than the other. One false nail hung sideways, barely attached. "It didn't mean anything," she whispered, her voice hoarse from crying. "Corbin was just being friendly. We were all just talking and dancing, and it was innocent." I hadn't mentioned Corbin. Not once. Not a single syllable. I smiled, but only on the inside where she couldn't see it. "Who's Corbin?" Her face went white, then red, then white again. "I meant the party. The people at the party. Everyone was friendly." "Sure." I walked past her into the house, grabbed my work badge from the kitchen counter where I'd left it yesterday, and left again. She called after me, her voice breaking into pieces. But I was already gone. Already moving forward. Already 3 steps ahead of where she thought I was. Reed met me at the diner on Oakmont Street 40 minutes later. He was wiping grease off his hands with a red shop towel, still wearing his appliance repair uniform with his name stitched above the pocket. "You look terrible," he said, sliding into the booth across from me. "Elara went to her reunion party last night." And she told me she was tired of my impotence before she left. Said it loud enough that the Hendersons next door definitely heard every word. Reed's coffee cup stopped halfway to his mouth. He set it down slowly. "She said that? Those exact words?" Loud and clear, then walked out wearing a dress that probably cost more than my car payment. "Man!" He shook his head. "What did you do?" "Left. Packed a bag, turned off my phone, stayed at the extended stay off Highway 9. Came back this morning. She was crying on the porch like someone had taken away her credit cards." "Good." She mentioned someone named Corbin without me bringing him up first. Reed's expression shifted from sympathy to something sharper. "Corbin Dre? You know him? Commercial real estate guy. Flashy type. Drives a white Range Rover with custom rims that probably cost more than most people's cars. Saw your wife getting into a car exactly like that last night outside the Grandview Hotel around 11:30. My hands didn't shake. They should have, but they didn't. My pulse stayed steady. "You're absolutely sure it was her?" "Positive. I was fixing a busted compressor in the hotel kitchen, working late because the manager's desperate. Saw her clear as anything through the service entrance when I was carrying tools back to my van. She was laughing. He had his hand on her lower back." I pulled out my phone and checked our joint bank account, the one I'd set up years ago when we got married. Elara had charged $270 at the Grandview bar last night. Another $80 at the valet service. The timeline matched perfectly. "What are you gonna do?" Reed asked, watching me carefully. "Nothing," I said. "Yet." I went home that evening like nothing happened, like my entire world hadn't shifted on its axis. Elara was waiting in the living room, red-eyed, wearing sweatpants and one of my old college shirts. She'd cleaned the kitchen until it gleamed, vacuumed the carpets, lit candles that smelled like vanilla and lies. "Tate!" She stood up fast, almost knocking over the coffee table. "Can we talk? Please? I need to talk to you." "About what?" "About last night. About what I said. About everything. I was awful. I know I was awful and horrible, and I can't believe I said those things to you." I sat down on the couch, calm, controlled. "You were." I didn't mean it. Any of it. I was frustrated, and I had too much wine, and the girls were all talking about their relationships, and I just felt this pressure, and I snapped. But I didn't mean it, Tate. You have to believe me. Her performance was almost convincing. Almost. Okay. She dropped to her knees in front of me. Actual knees. Right there on our carpet. Her hands clutched mine like I was the only thing keeping her from drowning. I love you. You know that, right? I love you so much, and I've been terrible and selfish, and I took you for granted, but I love you. I looked at her, really looked, studied the desperation in her eyes, the trembling in her hands, the way her voice cracked on every third word. She believed every word she was saying. In that moment, she genuinely thought she could erase what she'd done with tears and apologies and physical supplication. That's the thing about people like Elara. They don't think past the immediate moment. They don't plan. They just react and expect the world to forgive them because they're sorry now. Okay, I said quietly. We'll fix it. Really, you mean it? We'll fix it. She sobbed into my lap, her whole body shaking. I stroked her hair mechanically and stared at the wall behind her. Already 3 steps ahead, already planning the next move. Over the next week, I played the role perfectly. The attentive husband trying to rebuild trust. I came home on time every single day, bought flowers on Wednesday, made dinner Thursday night, her favorite pasta that takes 2 hours to prepare properly. Elara relaxed degree by degree. She started going back to her normal routine. Nail appointments every Monday, lash fills every other Thursday, spa days whenever she felt like it. She recharged everything to our joint account without hesitation. I watched the numbers climb steadily. Then I called the bank on Friday morning during my lunch break. I'd like to adjust the spending limit on our joint account, I said to the customer service representative. My wife's card specifically. What limit would you like to set, Mr. Mercer? $200 per day. I can do that right now. Is there anything else? That's all, thank you. Done. Have a great day. The next afternoon, Saturday, Elara called me at home while I was organizing paperwork. Tate, my card got declined. Where are you? At the salon. I was trying to pay for my balayage appointment and it just declined. Multiple times. This is humiliating. Everyone's staring at me. I'll call the bank and find out what's happening. Please hurry. I'm standing here looking completely foolish. I called her back 15 minutes later after watching an episode of a show I didn't care about. They said there's a daily limit now. Something about new fraud protection policies after that data breach last month. You can still use it. Just not more than $200 a day. $200? Tate, my hair appointment alone is $350, and I was going to get my nails done after. Use your personal account. Silence. Long, heavy silence that told me everything I needed to know. I don't have anything in my personal account right now. Then maybe skip the balayage this month. Your hair looks fine. Tate, I have to go. I'm meeting Reed for lunch. Love you. I hung up before she could respond. Reed texted me 20 minutes later. She just posted on social media complaining about fraud protection ruining her day. You're genuinely evil? Not evil, I typed back. Efficient. Ember Carrow walked into the design showroom on a Tuesday afternoon while I was picking up paint samples for the guest bathroom that I'd been meaning to repaint for 6 months. She was tall, sharp-featured, dressed in a gray blazer and tailored black pants that screamed professional competence. She stood in front of a wallpaper display, staring at patterns without really seeing them, her mind clearly somewhere else entirely. The geometric ones hold up better over time, I said. She turned, slightly startled. Excuse me? The geometric patterns. They don't show wear and tear as obviously as florals. Plus, they're easier to match if you need to repair a section. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes at all. You work here? No, just observant. Occupational hazard. Apparently. She went back to staring at the wallpaper like it held answers to questions she hadn't asked yet. I'm redesigning my husband's office. He wants something impressive that shows clients he's successful. I want something that doesn't remind me he exists. I laughed. She didn't even crack a smile. Rough patch? I asked carefully. You could say that. She pulled out her phone, scrolled through photos, then showed me the screen. This is him. Corbin Dre. White Range Rover. Custom rims. The same face I'd seen in Elara's reunion photos online when I'd spent 3 hours going through every tagged image from that night. Commercial real estate, she said flatly. He's very successful. Very charming. Very good at making people believe he's something he's not. Very good at lying without technically lying. Sounds exhausting to live with. It is? She put her phone away and looked directly at me. Sorry, I don't usually unload on complete strangers in showrooms. You must think I'm insane. I'm Tate. Ember. We shook hands. Hers was cold despite the warm afternoon. Your husband, I said carefully, measuring each word. Does he travel a lot for work? Constantly. Meetings, conferences, property tours, networking events. He's very dedicated to his career. Her voice dripped sarcasm thick enough to drown in. Why do you ask? Just curious. My wife's the same way. Always busy, always somewhere else. Always has some event or appointment or friend gathering that's absolutely crucial. Ember studied me for a long moment, her eyes narrowing slightly. What does your wife do? Professionally, I mean. Nothing professionally, but she's very socially active, very involved in maintaining her appearance and her social circles. Ah. Ember's smile turned sharp and knowing. One of those. Exactly one of those. We talked for another 10 minutes about nothing particularly important. Surface-level conversation, polite and careful. But by the time she left, I had her number saved in my phone and she had mine. I didn't tell her about Elara and Corbin. Not yet. Not directly. Seeds grow better when planted in the right soil at the right time with the right amount of water. That night, Elara came home late. Again. She'd been doing that more often lately, slipping back into old patterns like muscle memory. Where were you? I asked from the couch where I'd been reading. Just out with friends. You know how it is. Which friends specifically? Does it matter? Just friends from around. It does when you're home at 11 on a weeknight and you have to use a ride share because you can't access the car. She threw her purse on the counter hard enough that it slid across and nearly fell off the other side. Don't start, Tate. Please don't start. I said I was with friends, and that should be enough. Was Corbin there? Her whole body froze. Just for a second, maybe less, but I saw it. Every muscle tensed. What? Corbin. From your reunion. The guy you accidentally mentioned. Was he there tonight? No. Why would he be there? I barely know him. You mentioned him before, like you knew him pretty well. Thought maybe he was part of your friend group now. He's not. I barely remember him from school. We just happened to talk at the reunion. She turned away quickly, started pulling things from the fridge randomly. I'm making a snack. Do you want anything? No. She didn't look at me for the rest of the night. Didn't speak unless absolutely necessary. I didn't push, didn't need to. I already had everything I needed to know. Reed and I sat in his work van outside the Apex Lounge on Friday night, eating bad Chinese takeout from containers hot enough to burn fingers. The rooftop bar thumped with bass, even from the lot. Corbin's white Range Rover gleamed in the VIP section like a prize. You sure about this? Reed asked for the third time. Positive. We're not doing anything illegal, right? I can't lose my license. We're eating noodles in a van while watching a parking lot. Perfectly legal. Feels like stalking. That's just guilt. Ignore it. At 9:40, Elara pulled in wearing a black dress worth more than Reed's paycheck, heels, perfect makeup. She checked her phone, smoothed her dress, and walked inside alone. There she goes, Reed muttered. I watched her vanish through the frosted doors. At 10:15 sharp, I got out. Stay here, engine running. Tate, stay. Inside, purple lighting and bass hit like a wave. I paid the cover, walked in, and found her in under 2 minutes. Elara sat at a corner table with Corbin and 3 others, laughing, leaning in, hand on his arm like this was routine. I ordered a water and observed. Corbin was exactly the stereotype. Loud, animated, expensive watch, rolled sleeves, acting like the room belonged to him. He brushed her shoulder. She leaned into it. I stayed 20 minutes, then walked straight past their table toward the exit. Elara didn't notice me. Corbin did. Our eyes met for 1 second. Confusion, recognition, then a flicker of fear. Good. Outside, Reed was pacing. Well, she's comfortable with him. This wasn't their first time. And now he knows I'm aware of everything. The next morning, Elara's car was back. She was asleep on the couch in her black dress, makeup smeared. I made coffee until she stirred. Morning, I said. She jolted upright. Tate, hi, I didn't hear you. Late night? Yeah, I stayed at Rachel's. Movie night, wine, I fell asleep on the couch. Rachel. Yeah, Rachel from the gym. The one who moved to Portland last year? Her face went blank. Different, Rachel. From yoga. Sure. Glad you were safe. She went to shower. While the water ran, I opened her purse, checked her lock screen. 3 messages from Corbin after midnight. You okay? Text me when you're home safe. Your husband was at the Apex last night. Did you know? I put her phone back exactly as I found it. Ember called me Tuesday afternoon while I was processing approval forms at work. I need to talk to you, in person, today if possible. We met at a coffee shop in the business district, one of those places that charges $7 for drinks that taste like burnt water. She looked tired, dark circles under her eyes despite professional makeup. Corbin's having an affair, she said without preamble. I've known for months, but now I have actual proof. I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm past sorry. I'm at furious now and moving rapidly toward something darker. She slid a folder across the table between our overpriced coffees. Inside were credit card statements, hotel receipts, restaurant charges, everything meticulously organized. These don't match his business schedule. I cross-referenced every single charge with his calendar and found 43 discrepancies. You've been thorough. I'm always thorough. That's why I'm good at my job. She leaned back in her chair. The question is what I do about it now that I have documentation. You could confront him directly. And he'll lie. He always lies. He's exceptionally good at it. Could probably pass a polygraph while lying about lying. She studied me carefully. You knew, didn't you, when we met at the showroom? You already knew about Corbin and suspected something. I suspected. Is it your wife? I didn't answer immediately. Didn't need to. Ember's expression hardened like cooling concrete. Of course it is. That's why you asked about his travel schedule. You were already building a timeline. I'm sorry, I said again. Stop apologizing. It makes you sound weak, and we both know you're not weak. Not anymore? She pulled the folder back toward her. What are you going to do about it? And don't say you don't know because you have that look, like you're solving a complex puzzle and you're 3 moves from checkmate. I don't know yet, I lied. Liar. You know exactly what you're going to do. You've probably already planned it down to the minute. She tapped the folder. I want in. Whatever you're planning, I want to help make it happen. This isn't a game, Ember. I know it's not a game. Games have rules and referees. This is war, and I want to be on the winning side. She leaned forward. Corbin destroyed my trust and made me question my sanity for months. Your wife helped him do it, so whatever you're planning, I'm part of it now. That's not a request. That's a statement of fact. I looked at her. Really looked. Ember wasn't crying. Wasn't begging for sympathy or validation. She was cold, calculated, focused. Exactly what I needed. Understood. We spent the next hour planning in detail. Ember had access to everything. Corbin's schedule, his client lists, his property portfolios, his email calendar. She knew where he'd be and when. More importantly, she knew his psychological weaknesses. He panics under direct pressure, she said. Put him in a corner with no escape route and he folds completely. I've seen it happen twice in business negotiations. Good to know. There's a property presentation next week. Big potential client. Corbin's been preparing for months because this could be his largest deal this year. It's at the Riverside construction site, that half-finished commercial building on the east side. If something went wrong there, publicly, in front of potential clients, it would ruin him professionally and personally. Exactly. Ember smiled, thin and sharp. I can make sure your wife's there too. I'll tell Corbin I want to reconcile. Suggest he bring supportive friends to celebrate our new beginning. He'll bring her because he's arrogant enough to think I don't know. And then? And then you show up. With receipts, with proof, with documentation, with everything organized and undeniable. I nodded slowly, already seeing how the pieces fit together. That could work perfectly. It will work. Trust me. We shook hands across the table, alliance formed and sealed. The week passed quickly. I quietly removed Elara from the car insurance through the online portal. Thursday morning, when she tried to start the car, her app flashed. Authorized policyholder only. She called instantly, already close to screaming. Tate, what is this? What did you do? What's what? The car. The insurance. It says I can't drive it. Oh, insurance adjustment. New regulations. They couldn't keep you as a primary driver since you're not employed. So I can't drive my own car? It's my car. Lease is in my name. You were an authorized user. Past tense. Silence. Then, are you serious? Very. You can use rideshare or ask your friends. Tate, I'm at work. Deadline. We'll talk later. She didn't speak to me for 2 days. Ideal. I spent the time finishing everything. Receipts, transactions, her social media posts, photos, timestamps. All cross-checked with Corbin's known locations using Ember's data. Legal, clean, airtight. Reed helped format it into a presentation. You're terrifying when you focus, he muttered at the spreadsheet. Thanks. That wasn't a compliment. I'm choosing to treat it as one. Friday, Ember texted, "Everything's set. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., construction site. Corbin thinks it's reconciliation. Elara thinks they're celebrating after. Both confirmed. Perfect." That night, Elara came home early in a rideshare, irritation still simmering. "Tate, we need to talk." "About what?" "The car, the bank account. You controlling everything?" "I'm not controlling. I'm managing finances responsibly." "By cutting me off?" "By setting limits. You were spending $4,000 a month on maintenance alone. I need those things." "No, you want them." Her jaw tightened. "This is punishment for what I said." "I'm protecting us." "From what?" "Debt, reckless spending, you." She shot to her feet. "I'm not staying here while you insult me." "Then leave." She waited for me to backtrack. I didn't. "Fine," she snapped. "Maybe I will leave. The door's open." She grabbed her purse and stormed out, slamming the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I sat alone in the quiet and smiled. Everything was moving exactly according to plan. Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. exactly. Riverside construction site. Half-finished commercial building on the east side of town, steel framework exposed to the elements, concrete floors poured but not finished, construction equipment scattered around. Ember had rented the site's presentation trailer for the supposed meeting. I arrived first with Reed, parked down the street with a clear view of the entrance. "You sure about this?" Reed asked for maybe the 20th time that day. "Positive." "And you're not going to do anything that gets you in legal trouble?" "Define trouble." "Tate, I'm serious." "Relax. This is all legal. All documented. All above board. I'm just showing people the truth they've been avoiding." Ember's car pulled up at 4:10. She got out looking perfectly composed and professional, like she was heading into a normal business meeting. She saw me through the windshield and gave a small nod. All systems go. Corbin arrived at 4:15 in his white Range Rover, gleaming and spotless. He stepped out, smoothed his expensive suit, checked his reflection in the side mirror, adjusted his watch. Confident, self-assured. He walked into the trailer without noticing me watching from down the street. Elara arrived at 4:20 in a rideshare, dressed up like she was going to a celebration. Hair done professionally, makeup perfect. New outfit I didn't recognize. She went straight inside without hesitation. Reed looked at me. "Now?" "Now." We got out of the car and walked toward the trailer. My heart was steady, hands completely calm. No shaking, no hesitation. I'd run this scenario 1,000 times in my head, calculated every variable, anticipated every reaction, planned for every possible outcome. I opened the trailer door without knocking. Inside, Corbin and Elara were standing close together near a table with champagne glasses. Too close. Intimate distance. Ember was at the far end of the trailer, arms crossed, expression neutral. All three of them turned when I walked in. "Tate?" Elara's voice cracked. "What are you doing here? How did you—" "Good question." I closed the door behind me. Reed stayed outside, keeping watch. Ember invited me. Thought I should be part of this reunion. Corbin's face shifted rapidly. Confusion to recognition to panic in about 3 seconds. "Who are you?" "I'm Tate Mercer, Elara's husband." I smiled at him without warmth. "We met briefly at the Apex Lounge last week. You looked right at me. I'm sure you remember." "I don't know what you think this is," Corbin started, voice rising. "I think this is a presentation. Ember said you were exceptionally good at those." I pulled out my tablet. "Fortunate coincidence. I brought one too." Elara moved toward me, hands reaching. "Tate, let's just go. Let's talk about this at home privately. This isn't the place." "We're past talking privately. Way past that." I tapped the tablet screen. First slide. Joint bank account statements. Notice the charges here. Grandview Hotel Bar, $270. Same night as your reunion party. Valet service, $80. Timestamp shows 11:20 p.m. Her face went completely white. Second slide. Social media photos from that reunion party. You're tagged in 6 of them. Corbin's tagged in 4 different photos. You're both visible together in 2 of them. Interesting pattern. Corbin stepped forward aggressively. "Look, man, I don't know what you're trying to prove." Third slide. Credit card statement that Ember provided legally as his spouse. Your statement, Corbin. Same hotel, same exact night. Room charge, $420. Champagne service, $60. Timeline matches perfectly. Ember's voice cut through the tension. "Keep going, Tate. Don't stop now." Fourth slide. Text messages. Not hacked, not stolen. Just the ones visible on lock screens and notification previews. Elara's phone. Your phone, Corbin. All time-stamped, all documented photographically. Elara was shaking visibly. Tate, please stop this. 5th slide, comprehensive timeline. Every single night, Elara claimed she was with friends. Cross-referenced with Corbin's known locations per public records, social media check-ins, and Ember's documentation. 92% correlation rate. Corbin's confidence shattered like dropped glass. This is insane. You're completely insane. This is harassment. 6th slide, our marriage certificate. Legally binding. Not dissolved, still active. Meaning everything Elara did constitutes betrayal of legal vows. Everything you did, Corbin, was knowing participation in adultery. It wasn't like that, Elara whispered, tears starting. 7th slide, consequences. I looked directly at Corbin. Ember's filing for legal separation on Monday. She'll take half your assets per state law. Your reputation in the commercial real estate community, where personal character and trustworthiness matter significantly, will be systematically ruined. I've already sent complete documentation packages to your 3 biggest current clients this morning via certified mail. Corbin's face went gray. You didn't. You couldn't. I did. Professional courtesy. Thought they should know exactly who they're doing business with. Transparency matters in professional relationships. He lunged at me, not fast, not coordinated, just desperate and clumsy. I stepped aside easily and he crashed into the presentation table, scattering papers and champagne glasses. You piece of... Careful, I said quietly. Multiple witnesses present. Assault charges stick. Ember didn't move, just watched with cold satisfaction. Elara started crying, loud choking sobs that filled the small trailer. Tate, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll fix this. I'll do anything you want. Please. You already did everything. That's exactly the problem. Corbin scrambled up, breathing hard, face red. You can't do this. You can't just ruin people's lives because you're angry. I'm not ruining anything. I'm just revealing the truth you've been hiding. I stepped closer to him deliberately. You called me impotent, told Elara I was pathetic. Funny. You're the one begging right now. He swung at me. Slow. Completely telegraphed. I caught his wrist mid-swing and twisted, not hard enough to cause real injury, just enough to control the situation. He gasped. I shoved him back firmly and he stumbled against the wall, hitting the metal siding with a hollow thump. Tate, stop this, Elara screamed. I didn't stop. I walked toward Corbin as he tried to regain his balance and his composure. He bolted suddenly, shoved past me, nearly knocking me over, and ran out the trailer door, sprinting across the construction site like his life depended on it. I followed, not running, just walking with steady purpose. Reed called after me. Tate, let him go. This is enough. I didn't let him go. Corbin ran through the construction site, stumbling over rebar and gravel. He wasn't built for running. Too many luxury cars, too many rich man dinners. I stayed 20 feet behind, walking steadily, watching him panic. He kept looking back, making himself slower and clumsier. He reached the unfinished second floor with no railings, a stupid place to run. He tripped over lumber and fell, scraping his palms. I reached him as he tried to get up, grabbed his collar, lifted him easily. His expensive suit was soaked with sweat, fear in his eyes. Please, he gasped. I'm sorry. She said you couldn't perform. She said you were weak. I thought I wasn't doing anything wrong. You thought wrong about everything. I dragged him to a support pillar and slammed him against it, not enough to injure, just enough to crush his ego. The sound echoed. Tate! Elara's voice rose from below. She was struggling across the debris in heels. Stop! Corbin whimpered like a frightened animal. It meant nothing. It was just physical, just fun. It meant everything to me, I said quietly. You called me impotent. You took my wife. You made her believe I was worthless. I didn't mean... You did. And you enjoyed it. His legs shook uncontrollably. Please. I'll disappear. Move away. Anything. Too late. I shoved him one last time. Symbolic and final. He fell onto the gravel, curling up, all arrogance gone. Elara reached him and gasped. What did you do? Nothing he didn't earn? She knelt beside him, shaking him. Corbin didn't speak. Just breathed hard in total defeat. Ember stepped onto the floor, calm and unimpressed. She glanced at the pathetic scene. Pathetic, she said simply. I turned toward the stairs. Elara screamed my name, but I didn't stop. Reed waited below, pale. Tate, is he... He's fine, physically. His ego's the only casualty. Ember walked with me to the car. Exactly what needed to happen, she said. I got in without answering. Reed climbed in. We drove off as Elara's screams faded. Corbin stayed on the gravel, ruined. I hit the accelerator, the construction site shrank in the rear view until it vanished. Everything had gone exactly as I planned. Precise, clean, devastating. Corbin lay broken. Elara sobbed uselessly. And I didn't look back once.